Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your multimedia specialist, Bernard Fields, and welcome to another DVA Google Hangout show. It's not like the regular Hangout show that we have every Monday night, but this is an exclusive session lesson. Try saying that fast 5 times. And that's going to be with Alex here. He is, I'll say he's an expert when it comes to creating Snapchat filters and also getting them approved. He has a wealth of information, knowledge, wisdom, and we're just really, really grateful for him joining us tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, Alex, without further ado.
Cool. All right. Well, for some people that do know me and the people that don't know me, my name is Alex Betancourt. I'm a graphic designer located out here in New York. Basically, my main focus as a designer is creating, brand development, marketing, stuff like that. But the new wave that's been taking a big impact in this graphic design world is social media. And it all started off with like the MySpaces, and then went off to the Facebooks, Instagram, and now it has surfaced and it's been out for some while, maybe about a year or two, whatever. And it's really growing. It's a lot of people on Snapchat, and if people that are on it, I know everyone knows who DJ Khaled is. He's like a Snapchat guru. Like, he has like the most following. Everybody's paying attention to DJ Khaled. Another person is a person by the name of Gary V, entrepreneur. You know, these are people that are taking their Snapchat and utilizing to market themselves and marketing and use it to market brands. Um, Now, with that, you basically have an opportunity as a graphic designer to make some nice, decent change off of this, because not everyone knows how to submit and get your artwork approved. Snapchat has a lot of guidelines that they're very strict. They don't play around. They don't really want any type of negativity, any violence, anything that is not within their guidelines. You can promote a business, but you can't promote like a website or your Instagram name or hashtag and stuff like that. So let's just get started, and basically I'll give you a rundown on how to get everything started from the initial step all the way to getting your stuff approved. Let me just screen share this. Okay, entire screen. Share. Okay, great. All right, now, when you first start, you basically want to go into Snapchat.com. And you're basically going to log in, and you're going to get your screen like this. Now, many people are asking me, it's like, oh, I'm submitting my filters, but they're not getting approved. There's basically three different type of filters. There's one that you submit that it's a free filter. You submit it to Snapchat to see if they would like to use it for themselves, and they would basically tag it to a specific area. Let's say you can do your own neighborhood. Like, I live in the Bronx, so basically I could do like a Bronx filter, and the whole entire Bronx will see it. But you're not paying for that. You're submitting it to them and see if they want to use it. If they use it, then it goes up. The second type of filter is by actually paying for it. The second and third, you actually pay for these filters. Um, Now you go onto the top. Now these filters, they run you, I've seen filters go from $5 all the way to $65. I've seen some filters even go up to $200, $300. But the way they get determined, the price gets determined is by date, time, and location. And none of this last minute stuff. So I know a lot of people have like clients that are like, oh, I need a filter for tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're in the East Coast. It's 9 o'clock right now. Snapchat is at Snapchat offices on the West Coast. They're actually closing their offices right now. So if you submit anything at this time, there's a possibility it won't get approved for tomorrow. Sometimes I've gotten approvals like in the middle of the night, midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. I've get approvals, but it's very rare, and that's really if you're getting approvals at that time, it's really because maybe someone is really working overtime and they're just sitting there in the office and approving and denying these filters. So let's just move forward. The first step you want to do is you want to get your sizing when you create your artwork. So you sign in, and automatically it gives you submission tips. Your upload can only be 1080 wide and 1920 tall. This is actually your artwork size, file size. It has to be a PNG file, so you can't send them any JPEGs. It has to have a clear background. Your artwork cannot cover majority of the screen. But let's move forward. You're gonna go down and you're gonna go down to the downloads templates, and it will bring you up with something able to download the templates. So let's say you download the templates. I already have them. So let me just go into it here. Geofilters. No. Geofilters. Here it goes. Okay. I normally do all my filters on Photoshop, but for people that like using Illustrator, their filters are there available on Illustrator. The only thing I say, the only reason why I've used it on Illustrator, and the only reason why I use it on Illustrator is because it keeps your file size very, very small. So you know Illustrator works on vector graphics, and Photoshop works on pixels, and pixels can actually create your data size like very, very high. So anyway, let's just move forward to your Photoshop templates. So let's take this one because this one's kind of busy and it has a lot of stuff going on. Let me just check another one. Yeah, let's just go with this one. Okay. Now, if you see this stuff is pretty busy, it's not covering majority of the screen. It gives a space there for whoever's using a Snapchat. They can actually their face could be shown, or wherever they're recording can be shown. Now, you have an option to write. Let's say on the top, I normally put the business name, or I put the company's logo. I'll take the happy birthday and just create guidelines for yourself. Like if you see this, like this is the guideline here. If Snapchat is putting it at that location, just know, like, create a guideline for yourself. Say, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna pass this area here. And then you down here at the bottom, you already know that the highest point that you might want to play with is on top of this name, but kind of push it. You could push it a little bit and just bring it up here, okay? And the reason why I say up there is because if you look at other filters, see, like this one, like really goes really high. But if you look at other filters, like this one, it's about that, that size. You see, here goes another one. That if you create a guideline, the guideline's pretty high, right? So now what you want to do, let me go back to this. What you want to do is you want to turn off all these layers, and you want to play around. You keep that background layer there, so you can actually see your artwork. So let's create one for, let's create one for, let's create one for DVA. Hold on. Let me just take this. Hold on. All right, great. Go here, and I'm gonna just grab this logo real quick. All right. So now I have DVA logo, and we're gonna play around and make this about there. So now I have DVA logo on there, and I'm keeping my text below the guideline that I created. Now if I return, you can see that, you know, there's these confetti stuff that's still higher than the box, the DVA, which I'm still safe. All right, I turn it off, and let's say I go up here, and I type in Google Hangout. Okay. Now I have that, which I'm safe. Now when you go to submit this filter, you automatically have to delete that background layer. Now here's the problem. You have this white. As you know, if the person's filming something and it's light outside or it's bright, you're not going to be able to see that Google Hangout. So you're going to have to hit a drop shadow. And I know a lot of people, especially I've seen someone post today about, oh, they hate drop shadows, or I don't even understand why drop shadows exist on Photoshop and stuff like that. Well, here goes the main reason why. Because you actually need to use it from time to time. You just got to know how to make it work for you. So here we go. We got the drop shadow on there, and you have the DVA logo on there. Hold on. You want to go and turn around and delete all the other layers, because you need to keep this file size as low as possible. Now, if your client turns around and says that they want a border on this, you can create a border, but just be very careful with your borders. I tell you this, if the border is too wide, it's going to get denied. So you want to keep your borders like somewhere around there. If I take this in here, that's going to be like maybe about 50 pixels from your edge there. So let's say, so we got there. And just to give you an example of how the borders look in a specific, say go here, Snapchat filters. Okay, so this is how the borders look on an actual filter. I'll turn this off. So this is a pretty decent border. It's not that thick, but it gives space, and the person, it goes along with the theme. The name of this restaurant is called Made in Mexico. That's another key point, is that all your designs have to be relevant to what you're promoting. So if you're promoting a business that is an Italian restaurant and you're putting tacos, they probably gonna deny it, because what does tacos have to do with an Italian restaurant? So you have to keep everything within what the business that you're promoting or the brand that you're promoting. It has to go along with it too. So here goes the borders. Here goes a nice pretty design that basically I basically took these are vector graphics. I slapped them on there, and I just put the name of the event is called Bubbly Brunch. And the event is powered by this promoter, so I put the promoter's name low at the bottom. And there goes the logo of the actual restaurant in Mexico. Now, as you can see, like this stuff is very pixelated. Snapchat is not gonna really make an issue out of it. If it's really bad, they would deny it. But this is if you know any if you know about anything that goes to the web, it's low resolution. So the way you see it here, like right there, right now, is the way you're gonna see it on the phone. It's not gonna be zoomed in or anything like that. You can't zoom into filters, things like that. So if it looks pixelated, I don't recommend for you to use it, but this is what the client provided, and we was pressed for time, so I just had to use that. So let's just go back to the initial one that I was working on, the Google Hangout DVA. All right, great. Now, once that's done, let's just create a nice little border for this one. Okay. Okay. So you want to do everything possible to keep your file size. It has to be under 300 kilobytes. Because if it's over that, then it's gonna get denied. So let's say I'll go in here and I'll flatten this so I don't have to create so much. All right, so now I'm working with 3 layers, which is pretty good for a filter. You don't really want to create a million layers because that's creates your file size to get larger and larger. So you keep your layers, try to keep them as minimal as possible. And here we go. Got Google Hangout, nice, decent size. Now that's a pretty nice, decent filter. You can get more creative with it. Like if you wanted to put like a Jack in the Box coming out of the the DVA, you can do that. Try to keep everything vectorized. Don't try to add. Like I'm gonna show you a filter that will get denied. I'll show you right now. Hold on. Okay, so here goes. All right, copy this. So here goes. The client sent me that filter. They said another designer designed it for them, and it got denied. Now I'm gonna paste it right in here. Now watch. See, automatically the main reason why it's getting denied, the sizing is wrong. That's the #1 problem, right? Now if I take this and I scale it up, right? Automatically, I already know that this Let's Play is too wide. Okay. The second problem, this gradient, it's a big no-no. Like you want to stay away from the gradients. They don't really like Snapchat. Some of them they will approve, but a lot of them they will disapprove of them because it's very hard, on this gradient to look good when it's actually daylight and it's on there. It makes the image look really bad. Now the second thing, this Playroom NYC is too high. The third problem, you got these diamonds on there. Now that's a lot of detailing. A lot of detailing in these diamonds. What do you think these diamonds are gonna do? They're gonna basically create a large file size because it has a lot of detailing. Back. Also, this Let's Play is all diamonds in it. It's chrome. It's a lot of detail on here. So automatically, this file size is too large. It's not going to get denied. I mean, it's not going to get approved. So the client, I basically told the client, I said, listen, I don't want you to feel that, you know, I'm trying to take you for your money. Listen, I will show you that this is not getting approved. So what I did was I went to upload it. It didn't get an approve. I took a snapshot of the disapproval, sent it to the client. I said, listen, shows you automatically it's not getting approved. Now I can redesign it for you. He said, sure, go for it. I didn't want to copy the same exact thing, but I knew the client had a certain type of feel for his event. I knew what he wanted to go with. So what I did was I kept it within the same lines. So I went in there and I created a filter for him that was in the same lines. So if I take this, let me just create a black background so you guys can see it. Boom, here you go. I kept it within the same lines. Now, this has a lot of detail in it, but it's very minimal. I kept it real small. I didn't make it so large like the other one was. It was wide across the top. Another thing is that I started flattening. I flattened all these letters. This is not a font. This is actually someone actually put this together. I took it off official PSDs and I just put it together. Let's play. And then I put a little effect on there, some glare. Okay, I kept the Sunday on there, and then I put the logo down here. I kept it very simple. Kept it simple for the simple reason is that we need to keep this file size as low as possible. Like that's the number one key thing that as soon as you go to upload it, it will tell you file size too large, denied. Okay, so let's go and delete this. Okay, so now we're back to this. Okay, now if you want to see how large this file is, you go and you go to export it, save for web, and you go down and you got to make it a PNG. So change your option to PNG, and you're gonna see here that's 212 kilobytes. Okay, so you're good to go. It's under 300. So let's say we save it. Let's save it here as EVA. Right, and now they're saved. Now we're going to go back to the website, and your next step is you're going to click on Choose File. Once you click on Choose File, you actually locate your file that you created, and here we go, DVA PNG, upload it. It's going to give you a sample how your filter is going to look. Right? You have to give your filter a name. If you don't give it a name, it's not going to go through. You know, you have to give it. All filters must have a name. So I'm going to put DVA Google Hangout. And if you want to get more in details of what can you do and what you can't do, you go to Submission Guidelines, which I believe is also shared in the chat. Let me see. Okay. Now, here we go. We got two geo filters available. You got a personal one and a business one. The business one allows you to promote a business, a brand. Personal filter, you can't. It's only going to allow you to, do personal stuff like a birthday, graduation, things of that nature, things that are more personal to you. Business, you have to state the business's name, because when the filter gets uploaded, it's gonna show up on the filter sponsored by DVA. Okay, and then there's more. If you want to keep on reading, there's more guidelines that you have to follow and things of that, places, dates, graphics. I tried to submit a filter today in Costa Rica. It got denied. They don't allow filters in Costa Rica. So, tell your clients that, try to keep their filters within the United States. There's other places that they will allow it, maybe overseas, But for right now, I haven't seen anything allowed like in South America and things of that nature. So I think I've seen some in Puerto Rico, I think Dominican Republic, but I'm not really too sure any other countries. And these are submission tips. That you have to basically follow, and it gives you a guideline of where to go with things. All right, now let's go back to what we was doing. Now, once we click on next, it's going to ask you when you want this filter uploaded. So I'm going to choose for Saturday at 10 p.m. and it's going to end Sunday at 4 a.m. Okay, so let's just say DVA got together and we went to a nightclub. This is perfect timing. This is great timing for a restaurant, or earlier times. This is perfect, like perfect timing to keep your costs as low as possible. Okay, click on next. Now we want to search the location. So let's just say, see, BBQs, Manhattan. Okay, we'll just grab the first one. Grab the first address. And type that in. Once I click on search, it's going to show me the location where that address is at. You need to create a fence. Now what this fence is that's where the filter is going to show up. It's going to show up with inside that fence. So and you want to keep as many fences as possible, as many points as possible. Keep minimal points, because the more points you create, the harder it is for Snapchat to read. So I try to create a square, and it has to be over 20,000 square feet. So let's create there, go here, and go there. All right, but let's just say I created there. Okay, so here we go. We got 19,000 square feet. If it's under 20,000, this is what's going to show up. It's going to basically say geofence must be at least 20,000 square feet for it to get approved. So now I'm going to move this over here. We have 22,000 square feet there, close to 23,000. As you can see, the cost of it is $17.24. Okay, this is because you're in the city. This is Midtown Manhattan. Well, not even. This is Uptown Manhattan. So this is the reason why it costs $17.24. Now, you're dealing with a client. If the client wants it for the whole weekend, it's going to be very costly. Like if I bump this up, let's say they want it for, sorry, click on the wrong thing. Let's say they want it for a whole week. Look at the cost, $366. Now, for a place like BBQs, this is affordable for them. It costs them nothing compared to the days it's going to be live. And this is a great way to promote your business. And I'll show you, once we're done with it, I'm going to show you how you can use this to promote a business. So now let's say we're going to go with that one, right? Let's click on next. Now, the order details. Now you're actually putting in your order. Snapchat doesn't, you have to pay with a card. Snapchat does not charge your card until it's approved and is ready to go live. So you can submit it, and let's say your client calls you back a couple hours later and says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I gave you the wrong name of the restaurant." You have an option to go in there and cancel it. Let me show you how you can cancel it. You go, Okay, well, let's just first go through this. Okay, so now you fill out your credit card information. You have to make it a business, and you have to put the business's name. So it's DVA. So let's say DVA. Make sure that it has a name to it, and we're ready to go. You click on Agree to Snapchat, and you put your card information, or you can save. I have my card information saved because I'm submitting filters every day. But then you click on Submit. Once it's submitted, it will basically send you an email saying we approve, we received your filter. It's under review. We will send you an email with the outcome. The outcome could be denied or be approved. But pretty much sure, I'll tell you this right now, this actual filter will get approved. Why? Because we stuck within the guidelines. We left a lot of space. We didn't bombard it with stuff. We didn't add no. You can't put no websites. You can't put no Instagram names, no hashtags. If it's a business that promotes, let's say like a hookah lounge, you can't put DVA hookah lounge and grill. They won't accept it. They don't accept anything that has to do with tobacco. Any type of violence, anything of that nature, they won't accept it at all. You have to keep things minimal. Now, the great thing about it is that once it's submitted, here goes to my account, right? So when you click on my account, this is what comes up, right? You got payment info, you got GeoFilters pre-launch, and the ones that are live. Now, as you can see, this one is actually live right now for one of my clients. It only cost them $5, but they're not in the city. They're out in Brooklyn, so that's out of the city. And look at the cost. It's only $5. Now I'll tell you right now, I definitely didn't tell the client that it cost $5. I charge minimal for these designs. Just the artwork alone is $150, and then you can attach, whatever you want to add on top of the Snapchat filter fee. Your time is worth money, so you have to utilize it. Okay, so now here goes. This is one that earlier today was in review. It got accepted. This is how it looks like accepted. Now you see how it says cancel? This is going to go live on Sunday. But if the client calls me to cancel it or whatever, or they need to change something, whatever, then I click on cancel, and it won't get charged to my card, and I can re-upload it later on. And then you have all these other options here, metrics and stuff like that. It just gives you, you see, like it just gives you the actual people that viewed it, how many people actually used it. So Bubbly Brunch had 77 users, 12,000 views. So this actually worked for this. This was really worth it for this restaurant. They have 12. Now this is information that you can use for your client and show them how effective these filters are. Let's click on another one. Playroom. Here we go. Another one. 16,000 views, 81 users. This is great information. This is information that you need to actually, save, and actually you can use it for your presentation when you're dealing with a client. Just listen. How you tell a client, if you was to print out 16,000 flyers or 20,000 flyers and distribute them, how long would it take you to distribute them? What would be the cost compared to actually having a Snapchat filter? You had a quicker amount of views, a quicker amount of impressions compared to actually a print material. Not taking anything away from print, but these numbers speak for itself. Business is a numbers game, so these numbers right here alone will tell you, listen, this is effective. This is actually working for people. So 16,000 people actually know about this particular lounge playroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
What about sporting events?
Sporting events. Great question. You can do it, but you have to have full authorization. Let's say it's the New York Yankees versus the New York Mets. Um, you can't. You have to have approval from the New York Yankees to use their logos. So any logos that you put on these filters, you have to have approval on them. If you're not approved to use these logos, they're gonna deny it. And
Right. Well, I'm saying more along the lines of, let's say I make a filter for a restaurant and
yeah,
I put the geofield over the field of the stadium when there's a game.
that's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you're not using that field's logos.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
just give you a quick example. Like I think I showed it the other day. Um, let's see. So we go filters. Okay, the other night, everyone, I guess the people that watch fight and boxing, Canelo was fighting Khan. I created a filter for a nightclub, and let me just so you guys can see it. Okay, so here you go. It's promoting the fight, but I'm not using any type of logos for pay-per-view or whatever case might be. Canelo versus Khan. Now, this is general because Canelo, there's a million other Canelos in this world. Khan, there's a million other Khans in this world. So we don't have to be specifically speaking about this fight. You understand? This could be something else other than that boxing fight. But it got approved, and the nightclub used it, and it was a great success for them. So just to give you a rundown for events, sporting events, stuff like that, you can basically use it. Um, and that was a great question because that's great marketing right there. If your restaurant is next to a huge, event like a baseball game or a basketball game, and you cross it over to there. But one thing I will tell you is that Snapchat knows where all these major events is at, so they will charge you more for those locations. Um, so let's go back over here. Yeah, so all this stuff here, you basically want to use this in your presentations when you're dealing with a client. Numbers speak for itself, and these are great numbers to use when dealing with any type of client. Now let me go back. Where was I? Okay, here we go. So now let me show you the power of Snapchat, right? And how those numbers go up and how those numbers get so high. Now, let's say I'm on my Snapchat, right? I'm at a Yankee game. I'm basically snapping away. I turn around and let's say on my Snapchat alone, I have 300 followers, right? 300 people viewing my videos. And out of those 300 people, let's say, let's just say 100 people actually viewed it. I can take my Snapchat video, download it into my phone, and re-upload it into Instagram. Now this is where you build your numbers, and this is how a lot of people, and like a person like DJ Khaled, build his numbers because he used his Instagram to basically drag the people from Instagram and bring them over to Snapchat. And Snapchat is more used like more behind the scenes type of stuff. So people are more intrigued into like what's going on behind the scenes, like what's going on in the life of Alex Betancourt. Okay, we know that he's a graphic designer. Yeah, we know that he's in all these locations and stuff like that. He's doing all this type of work. But what's going on behind the scenes? So now, when a person goes into your Snapchat, you're basically just snapping away. Like you got 10 seconds to snap. So it could be anything. Like the other day, I snapped. Somebody got into a car accident in front of my house. I snapped it. I was like, oh my God, this lady's crazy. She was texting on the phone and she crashed into a parked car. Like, and people were replying back as it's just that simple. Now, what I did after that, boom, I uploaded one of my jobs. And from there, one person hit me and was like, "Oh, I saw you know how to do a Snapchat filter. I need one of those." They sent me a message on Snapchat. No problem. Here's my number. Give me a call. It's just that simple. I got a one piece of business just off a 10-second video that led from a car accident to that was funny that went into actually my work. And then this person is like, "Oh, I need your help. I need a Snapchat filter." So on our end as graphic designers, it's great because a lot of times we use it and Snapchat a picture of our food or whatever case might be, but it's not actually doing anything for us. We got to utilize this for it to work for us, and then turn around, teach our clients how to work for them. Now, when a person takes that Snapchat video and uploads it to Instagram, if that person has 30,000 followers, 50,000 followers, like some of these restaurants, they have tons of followers, 20,000, 30,000 followers, and they turn around and they take their Snapchat video and upload it on Instagram. The whole key to social media marketing is content. Content is what drives attention. So whatever you're posting, you have to write some type of content, hashtags, things that's going to grab attention and then drive people to where you want to drive them. You could drive them to your website, you could drive them to your Snapchat, you could drive them wherever you want to drive them once you got their attention. And who nowadays is not on Instagram? And social and Snapchat is a growing number. Like if a client wants to get the attention demographic of male or females, from the age of 18 to 35, Snapchat it is. You're gonna get that attention. Excuse me. If you're trying to go, higher up, if you're trying to 40, 45, you have to use other social media. But Snapchat is perfect because you got the age range. You got the 18 to 35 where people at that age range they spend recklessly. So as a business owner, you want them like, "Oh, listen, I have one client that I did the marketing for his restaurant, and we literally made his business successful on Instagram alone. And all he was paying for was designs, and I was basically, and I was basically guiding him and consulting his business on how to build his business straight off of Instagram, and it's a total success. His business right now runs his own. He barely goes to the restaurant because he doesn't really need anything to do there. He just goes there. He has his family running the business, and he just goes, make sure his numbers are on point, his money's on point, and he just keeps on going with his life, and he's traveling the world. So this is to show you the power of social media. Social media is so powerful that it can actually take your business to the next level, and you can really utilize, you can utilize the power of the social media to, basically live a comfortable lifestyle. Because if you're getting that amount of business and you're able to pay your overhead and live, you're pretty much good. And it's social media, which what does it cost you? It doesn't really cost you much, but just actual artwork, some consulting, and your time. That's basically it. So once you're done with that, you will receive. I'm gonna show you how you get an email. You get an email from Snapchat saying, let's say, okay, here you go. Snapchat is under review. Your geofilter is under review, right? Once the review is over, you get it approved, and here's the email saying it's approved. Okay. So once that's uploaded and it's approved, voila. Now, one thing I'll tell you is the way you deal with the payments and what you basically tell your clients. And I'm going to tell you, let me go up to this real quick. Hold on. Submission guidelines. Okay. This is very, 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 very important. Like, understand that Snapchat has not perfected their app. They haven't perfected their connections to the highest level. They're still a growing company. So when you're dealing with a client, let them know that if their cell phone connection is low, like if they don't have if their connections are low, it's a possibility that their filter might not show up. If they're in a location where they have no cell phone connection, like their frequency is low, like there's no possible way that the filter will come up. The only way the filters come up is by Snapchat connecting to your phone and recognizing that your phone is inside their geofence. So if it's not inside that geofence, it's not going to work. You have to be within the radius that you create for the Snapchat filter to work. And it's only going to work during the times that you state that you want it up. If you want it for one night, 24 hours, 15 hours, whatever it is. But you have to let them know that, it's basically, it goes off of connections. And then once again, if the Snapchat gets canceled before it starts running, you're due a full refund. Okay, so just know that. And once again, when you're creating the actual fences, just don't create so many points on creating the fence, because the more points you create is the more data that you're sending Snapchat to remember. And like I said, their stuff is not fully perfected. So, and then if your cell phone doesn't have the greatest connection, you're basically fighting once. You're basically fighting Snapchat and your cell phone connection to basically recognize that your phone is in this location. So you want to keep things as minimal as possible. Keep your designs minimal. Keep your geofences minimal. Be creative, and make this money. That's what I tell you. Just make this money. This money's out there. Everyone's basically gonna be on Snapchat eventually, just like Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all these social media platforms. And it's gonna be amazing. And us as graphic designers, we have to use it also. Not only promote it to our clients and actually tell them, hey, listen, this is a great platform for you guys to utilize to generate some business, to create some brand loyalty, because that's what it really, really creates, some brand loyalty. But at the end of the day, numbers speak for itself. And then once you can show them those numbers, that the way I showed you guys, there's clients getting 19,000 views, 18,000, 17,000, 18,000 in one day. These are numbers just like like Google. You know what I mean? Like if you guys don't know anything about search engine optimization and all this other stuff, like it's realistic numbers just like that. So with that being said, I'm open for any questions. If you guys have any questions, send me up anytime. I'm always available to answer any and all questions. I'm not the Snapchat king, but I basically pat myself on the back for getting so many filters approved in such a short period of time. And I'm actually doing something that's actually working for a client, instead of telling them, here's 5,000 flyers. I go visit them a month later, and the flyers are still sitting in the office, which it breaks my heart because my artwork is not being used to its fullest potential. So with that being said, I'm all down and open for any questions.
Cool. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for doing this exclusive lesson here with the DVA Google Hangout group. Really, really appreciate it, man. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Explaining the ins and outs, unlike I've ever read before or heard before. I don't think there's really any videos out there that explains it the way you had. So yeah, the questions that come to my mind is, what made you start doing this?
Well, let me turn off this screen. How can I turn this off? Okay, here we go. Cancel. All right, cool. Well, basically, excuse me. What basically got me into it was I manage a DJ. Excuse me. I manage a DJ that's on the radio here in New York, which is one of the biggest stations in New York. Is called Power 105, and a lot of people know them for their morning show. Um, Basically, I've sponsored him. The way I became his manager is I sponsored his career. When I first started as a designer, he was coming up as a DJ, and he was like, "Yo, Alex, man, like I believe in your work. Let's help each other. Let's grow." And the funniest, like the craziest part is that we became best friends. Like it was just a fact that we met in the club, and from that day on, like literally that day, he was young. He was like about 17 years old, and he was like, "Oh, we was like 2 hours away from our house, and I was driving, but he was taking a train, and I was just like, yo, I'll give you a ride," and he was just like, yo, wow, like I never met a person that was so nice to me. So we basically just started growing. We started coming up with creative ideas of how to market him as a DJ, market myself. We was creating flyers, posting them up everywhere, and we got basically tired of spending so much money on printing. And yeah, we got the impressions, like everybody saw us, everybody knew of us, everybody heard of us. Like we got attention from everyone. Like for being a young DJ, um, and getting the attention of these big radio stations at an early age was major. So he was like, yo, I owe my success to you, and I was like, well, I owe my success to you, because all my clients, I get them because you refer them to me, and it was just that growth between us that we helped each other. Then it came to the level where he was like, yo, listen, I need you to manage my career. So I was like, great, no problem, let's do this. Right now, he's flying back from Canada. He got a flight in the morning to Costa Rica, and I'm basically getting him booked all over the country, all over the world. And with that, getting him booked, it's also helping me because I'm reaching out to these people, and their flyers look horrendous. So, they're like, oh, I like his designs. Like, who does these designs? I'm like, I do them. They was just like, you serious? I'm like, yeah. Well, listen, let's do this. If you allow me to do your design, I'll give you the first design for free. If you give me a contract for a month on your nightclub or whatever the case might be, they'd be like, sure, no problem. So when they see my artwork, they'd be like, yo, how much do I have to send you? I'll send it to you. And overseas money is way bigger than United States money. Yeah,
Wow, really?
like if you charge $100 for a design over here, you could charge up to like 300 over there. And they pay it with no problem. And they'll pay you for your PSD. So like they don't have a problem paying for a PSD. Like they'll be like, oh, how much is for the actual hard copy files? I'd be like, just give me an extra $200. Okay, here, no problem. Because you gotta understand, overseas, like they don't think about money the way we do. Everything, over there, it's just like, okay, we're paying you for your services. We're getting something. Okay, cool, no problem. Over here, it's just like, oh man, come on, why are you trying to beat me over the head? There's nothing like that, So we basically try to come up with creative ways to promote ourselves, and we was Snapchat was big for us. And then excuse me, it was like last month, I believe, I had him booked in Orlando with this model by the name of Jessica Kiley. I don't know if anyone knows who Jessica Kiley is, but she's this famous model, model vixen, and she had her own Snapchat filter. And I was just like, how did you get that? And she was like, ask my manager. And when I spoke to her manager, it was like this young girl. She really didn't know what's going on. I was like, how did you do it? She was like, oh, I don't know. I asked this guy draw an image of her, and I just uploaded it, and it got approved. And I was like, what? So the next morning, when I woke up, I was just like, let me see what the hell did she do. So I looked into it, and the first filter that I did, approved. Second one, approved. Third one, approved. Fifth, I was like, what? And the amount of money that I'm collecting off is literally taking me like 15 minutes to do these filters, and I'm charging clients $150. So I'm like, hold up, I'm up to something here. you know, and I went hard with it. I basically started promoting it. I started going on Instagram, and once I hit Instagram, due to that, our following was already is already big on on Instagram. People was just hitting me left and right, and I was hitting up local restaurants, and then it came to a point where it was the middle of the night, and I was like, let me just post this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody's gonna be awake to see this, or anybody's really paying attention to this. But I got an email like from T-Mobile, like maybe minutes later, and I'm like, what? I'm like, nah, T-Mobile's paying attention to me? Like, nah, this is impossible, you know. But the girl said it. She was like, I've been watching you. I love your style of design, and I would like for you to, basically help us, either create a filter for us or consult us. I said, sure, no problem. I replied back. They took their time replying back to my reply, but when they replied back, they was just like, listen, we already got the design, but we want you on board to consult us, and we're willing to pay you whatever you want to consult us on, this project and maybe future projects. So I was like, sure, no problem. She was like, come in tomorrow at 9 in the morning, and basically we'll get everything squared off. And I was like, all right. I met with them, had a huge meeting with their whole marketing department and designers, and it was like 15 people in a room just for a Snapchat filter. I'm like, seriously? But it was great. It was a great meeting, and from then on, and when I left there, she was like, yo, you're up to something. I'm just letting you know, you're up to something, and take it all the way, because this is big. It looks small, but it's big. And I was just like, oh no, I appreciate it, and so it's basically in the level of elevating your business. And I always say this, man. Social media is about content, 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 content. It can be anything that you post. Make it relevant towards your business, and watch how you're gonna generate. I know people was asking the other day if social media is actually effective for them. Some people was just like, no, I don't get anything from it. But man, listen, if I got T-Mobile attention, like, and if I've been snapping and posting stuff on Instagram for 20 years, and I got the attention of T-Mobile one time, and I can have them a client for life, it was all worth it. You know what I mean? Like, it's all worth it, because once you're in that circle, trust me when I tell you, here goes another phone call from this other corporate company. Here goes another phone call from another corporate company. And I don't focus my business on corporate companies. I really focus on small businesses. But when those phone calls come in, I basically, all I say is thank God. You know what I mean? I thank for the blessings, because, you know what I mean? I'm not aiming towards that. So, I must be doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, definitely, man. Like, that's a really impressive experience that you shared with us, and also the wealth of knowledge and wisdom on how we as designers can also join in with creating these filters, these Snapchat filters. I like I said, I came across one that was a custom one about maybe 3 weeks ago, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I thought this was only available for people with Snapchat, as far as like the company Snapchat.
Yeah.
Like, the girl was like, no, like, I created this, and you can too. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I didn't realize that it was that simple if you understand the fundamentals and the policies and comply to their rules and the regulations. So I really appreciate it, man.
No, definitely, man. Just stick to their guidelines. Honestly, what I do is I just download one of their templates, and I'll just design right over whatever they have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't be like, let me just push the lever a little bit. Nah, you could try a little here and there, but don't get too crazy with it. And trust me, clients are gonna be just happy that the fact that their filter is up. They won't even get so technical with the design. They'll just be happy that their brand is on there and they're able to promote it. That's it.
Exactly.
And the numbers speak for itself. Once you show them the numbers, forget about it. The numbers are way higher than anything else, And then it's like you compare it to, like, let's say, advertising through Google. Google will give you a box like this small, like 3 lines. Here you got a full screen. You got a full Snapchat is a full screen, so it's more of an impression. It's the only thing that lasts is only 24 hours, but hey, those 24 hours you're getting a whole lot of numbers out of them.
That's true, and then also another thing too. I mean, that's not even counting the numbers of impressions that the person who actually used it. Like how you said, for them that they have a number of followers, and if they decide to use their smarts and upload it to Instagram or Facebook, that's
Yep.
just more unaccounted for impressions. So it's a no-brainer, definitely a no-brainer.
Definitely. No, but I really appreciate the opportunity. You guys giving me the platform to help you guys out with and any questions that you guys might have. When it comes to designing anything of that nature, I'm always open. I work from home, so what I mean, I'm always on this laptop or my desktop all day long. So I'm always down.
Word,
I always
word.
try to help as much as possible.
All right, man. Well, until next time, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in to another the DVA Google Hangout show here. I am your host, Bernard Fields, with special guest Alex, and we had just got finished digging in deep with with the Snapchat filters. So until next time, guys, remember to always put forth your best. Peace in and confusion.